Are you thinking about moving to Dallas in 2025? It's one of the fastest growing and most opportunity-packed regions here in Texas. So we're home to top-rated schools along with multiple corporate headquarters like Toyota, JP Morgan Chase, along with plenty of family-friendly master plan communities spread across the whole Metroplex. But with jaw-dropping prices, sneaky HOA rules, and traffic that will absolutely test your patience, the move isn't quite as simple as you might think. In this video, we're gonna go through the good and the bad of making that move to North Texas. Everything from property taxes, drive times, schools, and even touching on everybody's favorite, Texas summer heat. So be sure to stay tuned because we're gonna go through all of the risks that you might have when you move to North Texas. Be sure to stick to the end when I give my brutally honest opinion on who's gonna thrive and who might regret that move here to Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's start with housing, because that's where most people like to start. The Dallas market is booming, so you can expect to see a wide range of pricing. That's gonna be all the way down to downtown Dallas, where you can see condos, townhomes, as well as established older neighborhoods. They're gonna be a little bit higher price. Out to the suburbs. So suburbs, think Frisco, Plano, South Lake, Flower Mound, some of those areas. Going to be great schools and have a wide range of pricing. These suburbs are going to be known for having slightly larger homes, and they, like we talked about, quite a bit different range in pricing, and that's going to come from which schools are you going to be feeding into. That's where you're going to see a big discrepancy between the upper end and lower end pricing. It's going to largely be depicted by that, what school districts those feed into. Now, one of the biggest surprises that comes to most people that I talk to that are relocating to Texas is going to be taxes. Now, Texas does not have state income tax, which is why we see so many people moving here, but you do get caught with property taxes. And that can be a little bit of a sticker shock to people when they go to factor in their monthly mortgage payments when they're not anticipating that anywhere from 1.5% on up to 3% property tax that you're gonna be paying year over year. And I can tell you from experience, those typically don't do anything but go up every single year. Now, something that we do tell people all the time, you can dispute them to try to fight them, but more than likely, you're gonna see those go up year over year. So something that you need to make sure that you keep in mind when you're looking at different cities or different counties here in the North Texas area. Now that we've talked about getting a roof over your head, let's talk about all of the other costs of living associated with living here in Dallas. So what's the real cost of living here in Dallas, Texas? Most people think Texas and think it's gonna be super cheap, but unfortunately, Dallas is a major city, and with that can come some major costs. One of the big ones that surprises a lot of people, shouldn't come as a surprise given Texas summer heat, is gonna be utilities. And I can tell you from personal experience, those summer utility bills can be no joke trying to air condition your home, which is an absolute must when we get up over 100 degrees day after day, all summer long. Groceries and transportation are gonna be about what you'd expect. It's not gonna be a huge difference in most other parts of the country. I'd say probably a little cheaper on average as far as your east and west coast cities. But the big one that can be sneaky, maybe not so much if you're coming from the Northeast, is gonna be tolls. It is very difficult to get around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex without hitting a toll road. We got 121, George Bush, 183, you name it. If you're trying to get around the Metroplex, one of the things that you're not gonna be able to avoid is gonna be those tolls that, like I was talking about. So one of the things I would highly recommend is gonna be getting a toll tag. That's gonna be an automatic sticker you can throw up on your car, and it's gonna be able to just record all of your things and give you savings on any one of those major toll roads, which, like I said, can be very difficult to avoid driving across the Metroplex. And one of the final hidden costs, like we just talked about a little bit ago, is gonna be property tax. So you save on the state income tax, so you're not getting dinged there on what you bring home, but you are gonna be paying taxes for your home. Now, and that will vary, like we said, anywhere from about 1.5% on up to 3%, will vary from school district to school district. So you're gonna wanna make sure that if you're in one of those better school districts, you might be paying a little bit more, but that is something, one of the benefits, it is a write-off. So you can think about that for the long run as far as an investment goes, but it is something to factor in whenever you look at homes. You wanna make sure that you are paying attention to that property tax. Speaking of getting around, one of the big shockers that comes from most people is just the drive times. So let's talk about what goes into the drive times here in North Texas. Getting around Dallas is a topic in and of itself. This is one of those that it can be shocking for people moving across from different parts of the country. I know when I was up in the Northeast, I would drive for 2 hours and be in 3 different states. Here in Texas, I can drive for 2 hours and still be just across the Metroplex. So we do have the DART line, which is great. So the DART provides a high-speed rail. I say high-speed rail, along with buses. Unfortunately, the biggest issue with those is if you really want to capitalize on using the DART line, you need to live near one of the DART stations. So it's nice, but it's not quite as friendly as some of the major metropolitan areas like, your Washington, D.C.s, your New Yorks that have amazing subway systems. Not going to be the same thing. So a lot of times the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is very spread out, so you're going to need a car. And like we just talked about, with a car comes tolls. And unfortunately, traffic, a lot of times you're going to have the Central Expressway, LBJ, 75. A lot of those around the, rush hour traffic can be a nightmare. So you're going to have to just anticipate spending some money on tolls, because that will save you time and frustration if you're trying to get around the Metroplex. So when we're talking about commuting around the Metroplex, one of the biggest reasons people commute is going to go to work. So let's talk about the jobs and what is available. The job market looks like here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Dallas is known for its job opportunities, and that's not just hype. There's a lot of headquarters here. Think American Airlines, Texas Instruments, E&Y, and a ton of others. The job market is going to be really strong with a lot of opportunities, especially in fields like tech, healthcare, finance, and logistics. If you're an entrepreneur, Dallas is going to be a great place to start up a company. Lots of opportunities here, as well as salaries are going to be very strong. But again, you do have to weigh that with the cost of living. Finding a job is going to be one thing, but then finding the right place to live in this huge metroplex is going to be a totally other subject. So now let's talk about some of the suburbs in different areas around the metroplex. Dallas isn't going to just be one city. It's actually a patchwork of a bunch of different neighborhoods, each with their own vibe. You're gonna have uptown and downtown are gonna be all about high-rise living, restaurants, and nightlife. You have places like Deep Ellum and Bishop Arts are gonna have a whole lot more indie shops, much more eclectic. If you're looking for more family-friendly areas, the northern suburbs are probably gonna be the spot for you. So these are gonna be suburbs like Frisco, Plano, McKinney, all great areas, but they do typically come with a little higher price tag, and with that, also a slightly longer commute. Now, of course, like any city across the country, safety will vary from place to place. So make sure to check down below. We will link some of these safety stats so you can check those out to make sure that the areas that you're looking at are going to be right for you. The bottom line is there's going to be a spot for everyone somewhere here in the Metroplex. You're just going to need to make sure that you match what you're looking for with your lifestyle for that right spot for you. No matter what neighborhood you pick, one of the things everybody deals with here is going to be that Texas weather. So let's check out what you can expect for Dallas climate. Now, I'm gonna be real about Texas weather. Summer, it's gonna be a little brutal if you're moving somewhere from up north. From starting in about April to May on through September, you're gonna be expecting pretty much every day to be mid to upper 90s with stretches that will be over 100 with humidity making that feel even warmer. We will have days. Last summer, I think we had a couple days that felt like 115 to 118 for 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row. So if you don't like the heat, you better get out the kitchen because this ain't the place for you. If you can call it an advantage of having those brutal summers, we do have fairly mild winters, which can be nice. Can't tell you the number of times that I've ended up wearing shorts and a t-shirt on Christmas Day. Had plenty of times. It's been 67 degrees on Christmas, and it is amazing. Let me tell you, if you're somebody who likes to do outdoor activities, you can pretty much do things year-round. I myself love to golf. I pretty much golf from all the way through the winter. Now, that being said, we do still have bouts that can get pretty cold. We will have probably a couple of weeks here and there that we'll have ice. If there is white stuff falling from the sky, do not go on the roads. Texas drivers do not know how to drive if there is ice. Please, just do yourself a favor, stay home. Now, the sweet spots. That's gonna be spring and summer, all 2 weeks of both of them. It's my favorite time of year, but I will say with spring, one of the big adjustments for a lot of people is gonna be the storms. We've actually here just recently had some wild storms, tornadoes, high winds. My house personally just got hit with like 100-mile-an-hour winds the other day in a wild storm. So that is something that you just have to expect when it comes to springtime in Texas, so just be prepared. So if you are not a fan of lots of sun and some heat, Texas may not be the right place for you, but if that's something that you enjoy, come on down. For most families, weather is only gonna be a minor factor when moving. One of the big ones is gonna be the schools, so let's check those out. If you have kids, I know schools are probably gonna be one of the highest priorities for you, but one of the things with the Metroplex, we're gonna have a wide variety of school districts here with some of the highest ranked schools, I believe 4 in the top 10 in Texas, with Highland Park, Frisco, Plano, and Southlake ISD being some of the most highly rated school districts here in North Texas. But like we talked about, A lot of these school districts that are going to be highly rated also come with a price tag, so just be sure to keep that in mind. Now, we also have quite a few options for private schools or charter schools. They're going to be spread out throughout the Metroplex with plenty of options. So if that's something that you're interested, be sure to give us a call. We're happy to kind of point you guys in the right direction for ones that might fit your needs. For higher education, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is known for the number of schools from SMU, TCU, UNT, TWU. There are a ton of colleges here spread throughout the Metroplex. But again, it's going to be the thing. Do your homework, make sure that you know where you're moving and what school districts those feed into, because sometimes those will vary from block to block, so that's going to be something very important to keep in mind. But of course, there's more to life than just work and school. So now let's talk about what there is to do as far as entertainment and lifestyle in Dallas. Dallas has a lot going on, and it can vary widely depending on where you're looking at. The Arts District is going to have all kinds of museums, theaters, galleries. If you're a sports fan, Dallas has it all. We've got the Cowboys, Stars, Rangers, Mavericks, FC Dallas. If there's a sport, you're gonna be able to find a team here. If you're a fan of the outdoors, Texas also has that. Be sure to check out White Rock Lake or Katy Trail, Grapevine Lake, plenty of trails all the way across the Metroplex. Lots of options there for you. If you're a foodie, Dallas is also gonna be the place for you. We've got everything from barbecue to Tex-Mex to fine dining. There's gonna be a spot, I guarantee you can go from uptown out to the suburbs. You're gonna have to be able to find some sort of fine dining that you're gonna enjoy. Nightlife is gonna range from upscale bars in Uptown to live music in Deep Ellum. Now, for the families out there, there's a ton of different options. You got the Dallas Zoo, Fort Worth Zoo, the Perot Museum, plenty of options for your kids. Now, one of the biggest attractions that people think about is gonna be the Texas State Fair, which comes every year in October, and it's one of those, you can't miss it. Now, all this is great, but now let's check out a few things to watch out for. So sprinkled throughout this video, we've talked about some of the things to look out for when you're moving to Texas and why it may not be the right move for you. So just kind of recap some of those. We got things like the heat. If you're not ready for 100+ degree days, may not be the place for you. You have to be ready for those outdoor activities to shift to the morning or evening, or if you got some big cojones, go out during the middle of the day, but that's gonna test your endurance if you're ready to go for the heat. Toll roads can be brutal. Just be prepared, just put that in the budget. You're gonna have to know you're gonna spend some money on those. Along with that, you're gonna have property taxes, and pricing for homes is gonna vary from area to area. So you just may wanna make sure that you know what you're getting into if you're looking at some of those higher end school districts. So with all that in mind, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what's my honest take? I love it here. I've lived in other places. I can tell you right now, I couldn't get back quick enough. So if you're willing to deal with the heat and the toll roads with some property taxes sprinkled in, there's gonna be an area for you with plenty of options for anybody's taste right here in the Metroplex. So now I wanna ask you guys, what's y'all's big takeaway from this video? And what other questions do you have? Make sure to leave a comment below. I try to read all of them and respond, because these questions can also help other people just like you who are thinking about moving to the area. If you're wondering which suburb is gonna be the right fit for you, be sure to check out our top 5 suburbs. So make sure to check that video out, and I will see you guys in the next one.